Welcome to Hour of Sour, episode 20.
Wow.
We made it. This is what we've been
This is the
waiting
last
for.
podcast because we made it this far.
Mountain Dew's going to take us on, and now we're called Do and Complain.
Do and complain.
Which is their whole management staff.
After they fucking saw our video, they were like, ooh, fuck. What idiot
Didn't even
decided
get
to
back
reach
to
out
me.
to these morons?
When they release the hot Mountain Dew that's currently in the States, in Canada, they'll send it to us, and you'll get a big red sweater.
You know what I realized? I need another light, like right here. Good point. I agree.
On this episode, we're going to start off with a little bit of a downer, but I think it needs to be, well, it doesn't need to be said, but we should talk
You
about
want
it.
to weigh in with your opinion.
We should.
What's this wee bullshit?
The thing that happened in the States recently, that's the big talk, is the guy that went into the elementary school in, I think that place is called Uvalde.
Yep. Or Uvalde.
Uvalde. And basically shot a bunch of kids and 2 teachers. I think it was 19 kids and 2 teachers.
Yeah, I believe it was 21 total. Yeah.
It's really effed up.
Mm-hmm.
If that, like, as parents, like if that happened, you know, in like our school, like one of his kids and my kid go to the same school. So like, think if it happened there, like, oh,
It is a horrible thing. Like there's no way around it. It's a terrible thing to happen. But my phone agreed. But it bears mentioning that the issue is obvious, and I'm sure no Americans watch us two idiots.
I'm sure they would agree too.
I don't think they would.
Well,
I
half
think
of them.
I don't know. I wouldn't be so sure of that. But my point is, since 1849,
17.
I believe since 1849 or 1869 in Canada, there have been 19 school shootings. In America, this year alone, there have, I believe, been 27.
Jesus.
And it is, halfway through the year. The problem. And it bears mentioning.
And the point isn't that we're saying we're better.
No, not at all. The point is that America really, but another thing to add on to this is, so of course, when New Zealand, I believe it was New Zealand or Australia, I believe it was New Zealand, had a massive school shooting, the next day they reformed their gun control. The next fucking day. America really needs to visit their gun control and reform it. And I know this is the same shit that everyone else has fucking said, but the reason it's the same thing that everyone else has said is because it's clearly the fucking problem. I don't even want to imagine how just the depths of sadness that those poor parents must be in. And
not only that it happened, but the stuff that has come out in terms of how a lot of some of the enforcement, the police officers or the
SWAT team,
the cop in charge of that school, like whatever they call it, and one of the teachers or one of the higher ups, I don't know exactly, but like just I think the cop that we're talking about, the sheriff that was, I don't even know what they call him, but it was standing outside and just not going in
and stopping people. It came out that 2 officers went in to get their kids and then left. Like these,
there was a bunch of officers outside.
Yeah.
Now, their excuse at first was, we're not going to go in there and get shot. Like,
but I have a problem with that.
You over the kids.
I have a problem with that. And then when's the last time you saw a firefighter outside of a burning building going in, well, I don't want to catch fire. That's your fucking job. If you get into it, that's your job. And so that was, I had a real problem with that when I heard it, as I know a lot of other people very clearly did.
There was also clearly cops there that were trying to do the right thing.
Some, yeah.
They were stuck in the hallway having
but then there were
pinned him down in one of the rooms that he basically shot all the kids.
Right. But there was a lot that went wrong, and nothing's going to go perfect, especially in a situation like this. My biggest concern is I really hope America, and I don't say they won't sound very anti-American because that's not fair. There's a lot of amazingly wonderful people from the United States. The majority, I think, are amazingly wonderful people, one of which I watched last night in the Grand in Kingston, who I'll talk about in a second. I really, really hope something like this triggers the powers that be to visit gun control. I know it's an important part of American culture, but this shit needs to stop in America.
Dude was 17.
18.
He was 17, and he was talking to his sister, asking for her to buy him a gun. She said no. And then he kept talking to his friend saying, I'm going to buy a gun. When he turns 18, he goes to the local gun store, buys a semi-automatic, brings it home. Then what? Oh, I don't know what the time frame was, but like soon after, goes and buys another one, and then I believe he had 3 total.
I thought it was only 2, but I might be wrong.
I might have read that wrong, but he at least had 2 for sure, and they were both semi-automatics. And I'm just like,
assault rifles.
Here, that would never happen. You can't get semi-automatics.
We certainly couldn't. You know, the law enforcement might be able to, but yeah, we would never be able to.
Even hunters, I don't know if they can.
I don't believe semi-automatics. No, I believe they're allowed to get shotguns. They're allowed to get like bolt shotguns.
We're not allowed to have trophy guns. Like,
that's not true. We are allowed as long as the gun cabinet is locked with a secure lock, not like a fucking little tiny lock you buy at the dollar store.
Or I'm going to assume that if they're decommissioned.
No, my family used to all be hunters before there was a very tragic accident in our family, but. My dad still owns. My grandfather gave my dad his guns when he died. You're allowed to own the guns as long as the ammunition, as long as they are locked up with there's a thing that my dad had to sign, a significant lock, and ammunition and guns need to be kept in 2 completely separate areas.
But there's also that whole thing where it's like, there they have that feeling of like, I need to have a gun because other people have a gun, and they're gonna.
It's part of America's history. You know what I mean? It's built into the American Constitution.
I think that's a scapegoat answer.
I don't think so. I think a lot of Americans, and we're not Americans, so we haven't been brought up this way, but a lot of Americans firmly believe that is their constitutional right, which argumentatively it is when you read the Constitution.
What do you have just to have, like personally? What do you have just to have that you don't necessarily care for?
My wife. No.
She was watching up until this point.
Until this point. Divorce. You know what? I have a divorce now, and I don't want that.
I'm just saying, like, you have Star Wars stuff. That's because you love it.
Yep.
You're saying that people in the States have guns because guns, and it's you just growing up thinking, I should have a gun just because guns.
It's my constitutional right. Yep.
Yeah, but that just.
But I don't think it makes sense
I can have
to
marbles. I'm allowed to have marbles.
Right, but you weren't.
But I'm not. I don't own marbles.
But you weren't brought up in that in the world where, or in a country where it's that important. Like, imagine religion. If you have been raised to be extremely religious, there are some things that
then you love God. Therefore, you own God.
But okay, but think of that. If someone comes up to you and you take the Quran or the Bible or something, if you take it very, if you interpret it in a certain way that you firmly believe that anyone who doesn't agree with you, you have the right to kill them. In fact, you should kill them. Like, you can be misinformed to believe that. You can be brought up.
Yes, but we're talking about having an item that you don't necessarily love, but you just have it because your parents had one? What?
Because you feel it is your right to have one. The same, like the religious thing.
I just don't get that, because it's like, I have a right to have
Okay, you know what?
I have a right to have a stormtrooper helmet,
but
I don't care for stormtrooper helmets. But I should just have one.
But I've got the perfect comparison.
Okay,
all right? You go to the United States, you slip and break your leg. Okay,
sure.
You go to the hospital, and you're like, "I'm here. You guys got to fix my leg." That's not how stuff works in the United States. Now, you, being a Canadian, would walk in and you would be like, "Guys, my leg is broke." Okay. To fix your leg, it's going to cost XXX.
But that has sensical, like that makes sense, and that happens every day. Whereas this doesn't make sense because it's an item just to have. It's not.
I'm not saying I disagree.
I expect if I go to the States, I should for one, I shouldn't expect to be fixed just like I do in Canada. That would be silly, but people do. I get it. I don't think it relates to this.
So I think it does in that you would go to the hospital expecting I'm going to, because you've grown up in it. As a Canadian who's been here your whole life, you just expect I go to the hospital, they fix me, and I leave, right? Which is how the majority of our healthcare system works. In America, it is not like that at all.
But you're saying, so you're basically saying, when I turn 18.
Welcome to 60 Minutes with fucking Watch and Complain.
When I turn 18, that's my rite of passage. I have a gun.
Not a rite of passage, but it is now your constitutional right.
It's like having a wallet.
Yeah. It's now your constitutional right.
I disagree. I think that's a scapegoat answer for them so that they don't have to admit that they don't want a gun because they're power hungry, because they're afraid because other people have guns. I think that's the biggest issue here.
But how many people think it's their constitutional right and just want to own a fucking basement full of guns the same way that I have all my Star Wars shit? I'm never going to use this to hurt anybody.
I understand that if you have a love for guns in terms of, like, I love how they work. I can take them apart and put them back
old
together.
Classic handgun.
Yeah, or it's like a museum. It's like collecting. I get that, but but there's so many people who have a gun just because they're scared, or just because they're scared. Like, or it's a power trip. Like, people have trucks here, like pickup trucks. Like, this is a huge issue in most cities in Canada. I don't know how big. Like, this probably relates to the States. It's like,
well, the F-150 is the biggest selling truck in Canada and America.
The pickup truck. When we're driving and we see a pickup truck do a shitty thing, that's like Karen. It's its own thing, like a Karen. Yep. It's a pickup truck guy. It's like, oh fuck, those pickup truck drivers. They think
when I get my pickup truck, I'm gonna do donuts in front of your house,
and they got the balls on the.
It's like that's a whole other thing.
I look at it like that, where it's aside from the fear thing, because that's a whole nother issue. And that drives the gun culture. Whereas also, I feel like I'm something special when I have a gun in my pocket, like
maybe
on my person.
As someone who knows a lot of Americans,
Proud Boys who feel like they can just walk around with them because I'm a proud boy.
But why do the Proud Boys believe that they're allowed to walk around with them? Because it's part of their constitution, and that's their argument.
It just comes down to a scapegoat answer. That's all it is. How about let's be honest and say I feel strong and powerful now because
it's possible.
I have a small willy.
I will say that I do have some American friends. I do have friends. I really do. Besides this asshole, I do have some American friends.
We're friends.
Who have mentioned that they're like, yeah, they have a huge collection of guns because they're I believe one person I know, their father was a huge gun nut. He never uses the guns for any sort of violence. He's gone hunting with them. He's gone to shooting ranges with them, but he never uses them for any violent purposes, but he enjoys collecting guns. So I believe there's a whole myriad of different reasons. The problem is they are in my opinion, the problem is they're way too accessible. And so I went and saw a fantastic person. I've followed his career for many years. I've listened to a big majority of his music, a lot of his spoken word stuff. Last night, Henry Rollins.
Oh,
that's right. Who'd you say?
Weird Al.
Weird Al. And all of his parodies on gun violence. But no, I went and saw Henry Rollins last night. He's a wonderful guy, wonderful spoken word stuff. If you've never seen Henry Rollins or you've never listened to his spoken word stuff, it's really great. But
I've only seen him in one thing.
What's that? Oh, yes, what's this wonderful movie, your favorite movie you've seen?
My favorite movie is The New Guy with DJ Qualls.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of Free Guy for some reason. I don't remember Free Guy.
I bet you have never watched The New Guy.
No.
We're going to have to do that.
Oh, yeah. I'll be all about that.
You'll hate it. But
Probably.
You'll find something funny. But Henry Rollins is in it.
He's his acting's not great, but he is a great man. I love listening to him talk. And one thing he brought up last night, and he was talking about the Uvalde thing, is that there's a lot of fear in America.
Yeah.
It's a fear culture, and it's a toxic culture. He goes, and what's great, and that's why he supports a lot of young people, is young people, you need to become toxic. You need to be made to ingest toxin. You aren't born toxic. You don't learn toxicity. You are fed it until you're toxic.
Sure, yeah. Well, that's the same thing with religion.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another part of not just America, all over the fucking world, that religion poisons everything. But my point is, one thing he was bringing up, he's like, we're not all bad, and I've been to America several times, and they're not all bad, but it is far too accessible for people that might have mental problems. In fact, very likely, obviously, have mental problems.
I think
being able to get access to stuff like this.
I wouldn't even bring like that. Doesn't even need to be brought up. Just anyone. If you have hate,
there's
no way to know.
But if I could get a gun, I'm not going to go shoot someone. But what if someone who does want to shoot someone goes and gets a gun?
Well, that's
the
what
fact
happened.
But that's what I mean. The fact that we both can so easily in the United States, that's the fucking problem.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, in my opinion, again, that's what really should change. And I really agree with Rollins on a lot of it is about, and like you said, a lot of it's about fear. But I really support the ideology, and this is something I've come around on as I've gotten older. Mental health is such an important thing that people don't put as much stock into as they need to, and it's something when someone commits a crime or someone does something kind of like this, hopefully not to this extreme, but someone does something bad, picks a fight with you, we'll say, I guess. Someone picks a fight with you, gets into a fight. Your immediate response, in my opinion, not should be, I'm going to beat the shit out of this motherfucker. It should be, dude, what do you want to fight about? Like, what's the matter? Let's fucking talk this out. Let's discuss what the problem is. And you might find out that person's been dealing with fucking huge issues that they don't know how to deal with.
So you're saying it was right for me not to punch the lady with dementia?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because you don't judge someone before you've walked a mile in their shoes. Which and this is where I think mental health is an important thing that everybody, not just the United States, has to deal with, but I think the biggest problem in the United States, and everybody's saying it, so I'm not going to fucking say it anymore because it's just beating a dead horse, is gun control. Gun reform needs to happen in the United States, so this will stop happening. Because
there should be no reason why you got a semi-automatic, then got another one, and you just got it straight up. Like,
but see, that's fine if you're in the Army,
I disagree.
If you've passed a background check.
I disagree.
If they've talked to all of your friends and relatives, your employer and everything. That's, to me, my opinion, that's fine.
My opinion is you should have a need. Otherwise, why do you need a gun?
Okay.
Like, I get it. You could put the things like, why do I need a Lego Star Destroyer?
Because look at how fucking rad it
my
looks.
point is you're not gonna. That's not one of those things that you're gonna see someone go out with and try to kill someone with a Star Destroyer.
If someone broke it, I'd kill him.
At this point, later on, I'm just saying. Guns are a huge issue. The biggest example is the United States. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, well, what kind of example do you have? Like, how do you know it's guns? Like, no, it's we've seen it. Yep. You can't handle it. If my kid I don't let my kid have gun toys.
Okay,
let's put it that way. I do not let my kid have anything to do with guns, knives, swords. I don't believe it should be sold to kids. There's no need.
My boys fucking love Nerf guns.
Oh, I'm sure.
But the Nerf guns we have are not like, hey, this looks exactly like a gun. It's like a fucking big Gatling gun that swings around. So, but I get your point. I
don't judge others for doing it. Like, for your kids having Nerf guns.
Being
Nerf guns
psychopaths.
were fun. I used to play a game called Guns when I was a kid where we would go around the neighborhood and shoot each other.
I used to play a game.
Not literally.
With neighborhood kids called Doctor.
Okay. Anyway, my point is there should be no access to guns unless you have a need. If you're a cop, you have a gun. And you lock that shit up when you're not being a cop.
Mm-hmm.
No one should... If no one had access... It's like here. No one has access to the guns except for hunters and cops and if you have special reasons. That's why we're not getting shot up like crazy.
But we still have had it in Canada.
But you've shown the examples of the huge difference. The United States would love to have Canada's statistics in terms of this.
I'm sure they would, yeah.
So if you could have that much better, you should do reform.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're going to have to start easy and say no semi-automatics. I'm sorry, you cannot access that. You need to have a need to have these guns, and you need to be vetted first. Like, sure, this kid probably could have gotten a gun either way under these terms, but make it harder.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It shouldn't be like you get a bank account, library card, gun. Fahrenheit 9/11. Go watch that. And it still applies.
I think you're actually talking about Bowling for Columbine.
Sorry.
Michael Moore is a piece of shit, but he does have a great point in that movie. But you're right.
Also watch for Fahrenheit 9/11 because I enjoyed it.
But no, gun reform is the way to solve this problem. I just wish that more people believed it in the States. And I don't mean that to be a facetious prick. I truly wish that more people believed in gun control the way that other countries, like, again, best example in recent memory is New Zealand, saying, holy shit, we had a school shooting. We need to cut off access to guns for people that might have fucking mental problems or might want to do something bad with them. So they did. That's what I think should happen. I understand the reasons against. I don't agree with them, but I understand them. But I am more definitely in favor of
it's
4.
It's just going to be a super slow, gradual process. It will get there very slowly, and it will be stalled by the next president because the next president is probably going to be a Republican. Yeah. Yep. But after that, I'm sure we're going to have, like, Biden's going to put something into place. Something very slow, but something simple.
I don't know. I wouldn't agree with that.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point if Biden were to say, we need to do something about this, even if it's one of those answers that's just like, we're going to do something, and then nothing gets done.
But what recent country leader put in more gun control? Our wonderful Justin Trudeau. He's brought up that he's going to make it more difficult, I believe, to get automatic weapons, which
is already there.
It's like, yeah, why are you doing this?
Reiterating something that's already into place.
Like, I do not like Justin Trudeau.
Anyway,
but that's a whole other podcast.
We feel really bad for the people of Uvalde, especially the parents and the families. That is unimaginary.
I love that the only other person I know spells their name the same way I do is Rob Wells from the Trailer Park Boys. And when I saw that this school is called the Robb Elementary School, I was like, don't like that. Because it's spelled the same way that I spell my name.
Yeah. They were having their funerals and all that today. They're starting to. It just sucks, and I hope this is one of those things that puts into people's heads that something has to change, even if they make small changes. Any change will be for the better.
Yep.
Start thinking differently. Let's move on. You talked about Henry Rollins. We're gonna
that's all I get to talk about Henry Rollins.
Oh, is there more to it?
No, I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed his spoken word festival, or not festival, show.
Yeah, I almost went. Today's Tuesday, right? So
is it?
It would have been today, but in Belleville, like half an hour away, I guess. Mick Foley's there tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How come you didn't go to it? Because you had this.
No.
No, I don't give a fuck.
I would Henry Rollins this thing. No, I didn't feel up to it. I'm sure Mick Foley's going to come to Kingston again. Like he was already here, and I didn't go, and I should have because he's one of my favorites. I went to the Jake the Snake Roberts one that was here, and that was pretty awesome because it was after he got clean.
Nice.
Because I've seen Jake Roberts before he got clean. He fell asleep in the ring, literally.
I'd go there for the women because imagine how hot wrestling milfs are.
Anyway, I wanted
they'd beat the shit out of me.
The real reason is I'm focusing.
I'd say, dress like a Twi'lek and fucking wrestle me, and they'll be like, "I am going to rip off your dick, Hulk Hogan."
Jerk in the shower. The real reason is I wanted to focus my money this week and next week on my son's birthday.
No, I have to get him something that you brought it up.
You don't, yeah.
Dick?
No. Just teach him switch stuff. I'm getting my son. I can't preview this while he's around now. I'm getting my son his first console, which is huge. I've already told you this, so you can't be surprised.
One.
No.
What's the new one called?
A Nintendo
Xbox
Switch,
Series X.
A Nintendo Switch. He's been wanting one.
He's been wanting to play
if you
Call
work
of
hard,
Duty ever since he was 2 years old.
Problem is he can't read yet, so like he's learning.
That's why army games are the best for him. Go that way and shoot people.
Get him Battlefield. He can face off against Godzilla and King Kong. Did you hear about that?
No, they have that in fucking Battlefield.
You know the Godzilla versus King Kong movie that we loved.
We did. I did fucking enjoy it. I loved
that
it.
in one of the army games.
Nice.
So you're battling again. Well, while these two are fighting, you're battling around them and fighting them as well. It's crazy.
Nice.
But I heard it's a bad game. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, move on.
Go back to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Currently, they're in the phase of the jury is deliberating. Is that the right word? Deliberating.
Yeah, say that again.
Deliberating.
How many? What's the word I'm looking for?
How many B's and L's are in this?
How many syllables? There's the word I'm looking for. Deliberating.
Okay. But on that subject, Johnny Depp is rumored to be signed for Beetlejuice 2.
Woo!
Are you a Beetlejuice fan?
I am very big Beetlejuice
fan.
Are you? Man, absolutely.
I didn't like it.
I loved Beetlejuice.
Something I haven't watched for a while. As a kid, I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
I just wasn't into it. But maybe if I went back and watched it now, maybe.
I was one of the guys that my first Tim Burton experience was Beetlejuice. And I was like, holy moly, this is a lot of fun. And
I preferred the sandworms and Tremors.
You would. You have worms. Sandworms.
You're not supposed to talk about my medical issues on the show.
But that's why you're getting the thing stuck up your ass. Kill all the worms.
I did that, by the way.
Oh, lucky you. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about fucking...
I woke up
oh, God.
with the thing up my ass.
You know how many times my wife has said that?
Yeah. Oh. You're supposed to wait and ask her permission for...
No, I'm not. I got to fucking spike her nightly drink with Ambien and then hope she passes out. And everything loosens up for me.
Turns out it's your drink.
What were we talking about? Oh, Beetlejuice. Yeah, so, I love Beetlejuice. And so I saw Beetlejuice and this is great. And I knew he was making Batman, so I was on board for Batman. But that's when I had gone back and discovered like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, because that was his first movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and Frankenweenie.
Johnny Depp's making Batman?
Yes, he's going to be the new Batman.
That'd be awesome.
But no, Tim Burton, and I was like, dude, this is so much fun. And then I saw Batman Returns.
Hated Batman.
And I was like, dude, Tim Burton is fucking great. And then I've said this story before, but I'm going to bore everybody with it again. And then I found out that he's making a remake of Planet of the Apes. I'm like, holy fuck, Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes is a rule.
I like that.
And then I went and saw it, and I watched it in the theater, and I remember it was the first date my wife and I ever went on to the movies. And as we were walking out of it, Karen said to me, she's like, that was okay, right? And I remember I was kind of looking at the ground, I was like, don't talk to me for a sec. I said that to her, and she said she always remembered that because I was so disappointed with that movie. That remains one of my biggest disappointments in a director.
What was that one? Like,
it was the one with Marky Mark, where he's like,
oh, I love that one.
Oh my, of course you would.
I do.
Fuck's sake.
I actually do
shit.
like a Tim Burton movie because I don't like any of his movies.
It's because he hasn't made.
That was his casual movie that he threw out there.
But it was like so Tim Burton used to make good movies, and now he makes Tim Burton movies. So everyone's like, just have the Tim Burton
he's a
aesthetic.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, now he just makes movies that are Tim Burton movies. Like, dude, it was better when you were making movies where you were just showing your style and being who you are, instead of now. Okay, I've got to put this out. Let me stamp the Tim Burton seal of approval on everything, and it really blows because he was a very talented filmmaker. But yes, back to this. I would be 100% on board with Johnny Depp as Beetlejuice. I think the majority of unions of Tim Burton and Johnny Depp have been fucking grade A.
Did you watch the Beetlejuice cartoon?
I watched some of it, not enough to follow it, but I'd seen episodes of it. A friend of mine, a great friend of mine, was
you keep saying you have friends. I've never seen them.
Right? That's because I've just made them up. They're all elements of my personality. It was down to 2 people to voice Beetlejuice on that cartoon. He was one of him and another guy, and then the other guy got it. But yeah, could have been Carrie.
Can't back up that story.
Could have been Carrie doing Beetlejuice.
Carrie?
What the fuck's wrong with Carrie?
Woman's name.
He always says that because he's a stand-up comic, and one of his first jokes when he comes out, he goes, "Hello, my name is Carrie Lee, and as you can see, I am not a Chinese woman." And it's always a funny joke. Whenever he does it, always kills.
Good. And now wokeism has killed his
now
comedy
people
routine.
Yell at him, and women throw fucking eggs at him, and they're like, "You fucking monster!"
They'll slap him in the face.
You know what the best part is too? He's now dating an Asian girl, and I was like, "Oh man, that's got to be fantastic!" And she must love that joke.
just like the Asian jokes here. Justin Timberlake sells off entire song catalog for $100 million to Hypnosis. It's their way of spelling it. Hypnosis.
I will say I don't care much for Justin Timberlake. Not that I have any ill will towards the guy. Don't really care about him. I know he's been in one movie that I liked, Black Snake Moan. He was really good in Black Snake Moan.
With Ritchie.
Yeah, Christina Ricci, yeah. I know his song. Oh, it's not called Baby Got Back. Oh, shit. Hold on. It'll come to me.
I like big...
I'm bringing sexy back. That's what it's called. I know that song. Can't say I like it, but I know it. And then he was the...
You sound like Norm Macdonald.
He was the... What were they? Elves? Trolls. He was the troll in the Trolls. And he sang songs and trolls.
I thought it was interesting because What's-Her-Face worked hard to get her stuff back. Her library back. She's a big female singer.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, totally female.
I believe...
Taylor Swift.
We're talking about...
No, I just gave you the answer. Taylor Swift. And Hathaway.
Hathaway.
No, it was Taylor Swift, and now she has her music back. So I'm wondering at what point...
Taylor Swift was on Apple, wasn't she? Her big thing was Apple?
There was a thing where, like, a certain company owned all her music, and she was like, I want my music back. It's my music. I was the creator of it.
I know it's hard to tell from looking at me, but I am the world's biggest Taylor Swift fan. I've got all her albums. I've got Taylor Swift, her self-titled album.
Name a song.
Oh, I got one.
Out of all
we are never ever getting back together.
What was the title of that song?
We are never ever. I
don't know.
Never ever getting back together.
I'm asking you a question I don't know the answer to. It's like really bad
Jeopardy. I'm pretty sure it's we're never ever getting back together.
A lot of artists are selling off their catalogs for a big sum of money. And,
Good.
And to be honest, these companies that are buying the rights to these, super smart. Like, they're giving a shit ton of money, but they're going to end up in the long term making buck.
That's right.
And then these artists are going to want it back eventually, unless they die. You know. But, like, do you think Justin Timberlake is done with singing? Like, he just doesn't care now? Like, I'm just going to coast?
Yeah, maybe he's just at that point. And he's at the point where he's like, if I want to act, I'll act. If I want to do some fucking shit with Taylor Swift, I'll do some, like, you know what I mean? He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I can't say much about Justin Timberlake. I don't know anything about the guy, but I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Well, we could say Bruce Springsteen.
I'm not a Bruce Springsteen fan.
Made headlines when he sold off his whole discography to Sony.
And you know why I don't like Bruce Springsteen?
$550 million.
Because there is a right way and a wrong way to bring politics into music. Bruce Springsteen does it. The wrong way.
Well, okay. How about Tina Turner?
Tina Turner fucking rules.
Sold her catalog to BMG for $50 million in October.
She was. What was her name in Beyond Thunderdome? She ran Thunderdome. It wasn't Mother. I can't remember. But she was the fucking leader of Thunderdome.
So did you watch any of the Prehistoric Planet?
I did not, because I have to watch it with my kids, and we're watching Love, Death, and Robots first, and then and we watched the Chippendale Rescue Rangers, which is fucking great.
Did you like it?
Oh my God, have you watched it yet?
I haven't watched it yet, no.
Your kid will fucking love it, man.
Because there's a lot of adult jokes in it, right? It's like full of
Not really.
Really? It's more kiddish?
It's more, definitely more kiddish. There are some...
I thought it was for adults.
No. But it's you know who's gonna fucking find these jokes hilarious? My 13-year-old son thought some of these jokes were fucking hilarious.
Did you know who the Chippendale Rescue Rangers were?
No, and they bank on that. They really work into that. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think your son will fucking love it. But they have a character named Ugly Sonic, who is the Sonic before the redo. So remember the Ugly Sonic? And his name is fucking Ugly Sonic. And I thought Dexter was going to fucking split a lung. He was laughing himself fucking silly watching it.
I'm planning to watch it eventually, but
the reason I brought it up was, we're not going to watch Prehistoric Planet, or we're going to watch it together.
It's worth watching.
Oh, absolutely. I think it looks great. The service that I have it on, I can watch it in 4K. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to watch it in 4K and on that service and watch it with the whole family, because the whole fucking family wants to watch it. Apple Plus, that's right. The whole family wants to watch it together. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
They'll love it, because like our family loved it, and I'm just one episode short from finishing it, and it's basically, what is it called? The animal one?
Planet Earth.
Planet Earth. It's Planet Earth, but with dinosaurs.
The animal one.
And the good thing about this is it's not just dinosaurs. It's the new information that we have about dinosaurs.
So are there any fucking cavemen riding them? Oh, that would rock.
Yeah, it's in the third episode.
And then Jesus is there with fucking
rifles.
AR machine guns.
Oh, no. We don't let Jesus have that because we're in Canada.
He doesn't have a gun license.
So if you haven't watched Prehistoric Planet, have you watched Stranger Things?
I watched the first episode of Stranger Things, and I'm not off. Like, I'm not the sex. But I will say two big things that stand out about it. One, they waited way too long to come back to this show. I'm sure there were reasons for it.
Which is funny, because this show starts like a year after.
And it is
the timeline.
And it is, they are, especially the black kid. He is very clearly, and Will, they're trying as hard as they can to make Will look really young. That kid looks like he's 40. And
he looks like his brother.
He does, you know. And I'm like, guys, you know what you should have done? You should have done high school just ended, and where are they going to go in that weird? We were in high school, we were one, and now that we're going, that would have been interesting to whatever fallback there or whatever, like effectively B story. You know what I mean? Like whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But whatever story is going to be the real underlying narrative, that would have been a good thing to apply it against.
The 11 story?
Yeah. So the age of the kids is noticeable and for me distracting. Also, 11 cries 3 times in the first show. That to me is a bad sign, because that says it's a Spider-Man 3 sign. It's like, shit, we got nothing. Let's just jumble a bunch of garbage and emotions go. It makes me feel that they know that this Bobby Brown is not a good actress. This is all she can do, this one role. So she cries, and then she's angry, and then she cries, and then she's angry. Like, that's all she knows how to do. And it just...
But she's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, she fought King Kong, remember? But it feels very stale, the parts with her. I am really enjoying the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons myself, but that whole camaraderie, that whole group, and the juxtaposition to the black friend who's on the basketball team.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a lot of fun. He comes out. He's won the big game, the championship. He comes out, sees all those guys having fun with the new girl that they brought in, who was going to be their substitute for the Dungeons and Dragons Hellfire game. I like that. I like where that's going. And then it goes to the guy that runs the Hellfire group. The girl is the most popular girl in school. Something that's happened to her. The Flay Man or whatever they call that guy, the Flayer. He comes back as that guy that makes it very, very clear that these guys have watched Resident Evil.
Is it the same dude though?
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, you're gonna find out.
The thing is, I don't. That is.
Do you
the problem?
You don't care to watch again?
No, I care to watch the show, but I don't care for the cast. Like I don't. If 11 gets killed, lives or dies, don't care. If Hopper comes back, don't care. Like I like Hopper. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, that's the third storyline in the show.
And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like this new story that's going on.
Actually,
I might, and that's why I'm not. That's why I'm not writing it off. But I will say that out of the gate, I am certainly not as excited for this as I was for season 1.
I definitely came into this not giving a shit about Hopper. That's the thing.
I know his fucking name is Hopper. Karen told me.
But as we were going through the show, I'm actually quite interested in the Hopper storyline. And they do something different, and I'm enjoying it.
What would be cool is if he goes to school, like adult school, because he's an adult, and learns programming, and then creates the game Frogger.
You're awful.
So it would be
No.
Frogger by Hopper.
There's an interesting thing with sexuality that happens in the show that's
That's so fucking...
It's very underlining, and people are wondering what's going on and worrying about the characters. And I'm just like, there's a certain scene that happens between two best friends, and you're just wondering, like, was that like a hint? Is there something happening with?
It feels...
Insert name here.
It feels very... and I believe the term is token. It feels very, okay, shit, all right, we got to have a gay character because woke culture. This one. It just, from the first episode, maybe it'll change.
Right now.
But it feels very pandering.
Right now, they're saying it's interpretation. You might be thinking of the one that's obviously a lesbian.
Yes. Who said she's lesbian? Yeah.
This is someone else.
Oh.
And they're just like super under the table, super underlining. Like they are saying in the media, it's up to your interpretation whether these character is that. And I don't know if they're just saying that to say that now so that they don't give away what they're going to do in the second volume.
You know what I say to that?
It's interesting.
I say... The
standout character in this series is that guy, the leader of the Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep. The guy running Hellfire. I'm having a ball watching that guy.
He is awesome to watch.
I initially thought this guy's, like I said to you before,
he just seems stupid at first.
Yeah, he seems like a very placeholder character.
Yes.
And as he's running the Dungeons and Dragons thing, I'm like, no, I really like this guy. This guy's a lot of fun. It was the same with Billy in the original show. I saw him, I'm like, this guy's going to be he's the irritating Corey Hart character. And by the end of season 3, what I remember of season 3, because I've forgotten most of it, he's the only guy I gave a shit about. You know, he had turned evil, and even in season 2, he's a great, great character. And really well acted.
Without giving away anything, it seems like he's joining the gang.
But he's dead.
Who?
Billy!
Is he? No, not Billy.
That's who I was... Oh, you're talking about Hellfire guy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about fucking Billy, and you're talking about Hellfire guy.
Yeah.
Probably should learn his name.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Justin Trudeau.
He's running the Hellfire gang, eh?
I'm gonna continue watching. I got one episode left
Phil
1 episode and a half.
Refuses to watch what is arguably, as of right now, the best show on television. It just went on a hiatus for a month.
Talk about this.
you've known me for a while.
William Shatner.
It takes something significant for me to be like, oh my God, in a show, like to not see it
for
coming.
You to just love anything.
Yeah, to love a show.
Just love anything.
I think, and it's funny. I was talking about this with Karen and Leslie and Keith. What are some shows that you can say these are my favorite shows?
Sliders.
Yeah, you and your sliders. You love the way that they just slide into those different showers.
That's your show.
I'd shower with Jerry O'Connell. I'd give him a couple jerks in the shower, if you know what I'm saying.
I'd shower with his wife.
She's not his wife anymore. I thought they got divorced.
No.
Oh, it's Stamos she got divorced from. Right. But
in my opinion, she leveled up.
And what I'm talking about is Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul is a fucking masterwork of a show. And the 6th season...
Better than Dexter?
Fuck. Does that even need to be said?
Better than your favorite season of Dexter?
Yes. Okay. Far. And here's why.
Better than the show it derived from?
You know what? I gotta go with... Depending on where it goes... I think I kind of have to say, yeah, man. And here's why. Breaking Bad is an amazing study of Walter White and Jesse and what happens to these two characters. It's an amazing character progression, but there's a lot of quote-unquote action in Breaking Bad. A lot of action scenes, and that doesn't mean like fucking Transformers. But it means it means a lot of action in Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul is a masterwork in character building. Okay. And what I mean by that is season 6 starts with Jimmy and Kim talking about what they ultimately refer to as D-Day against this guy named Howard, a guy they used to work with. And the whole first 5 shows are discussing and aligning and showing parts of it and putting together little things leading up to D-Day, but you don't know what D-Day is. And they do it to a point where you're kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ, get to the point. Show what D-Day is. And then when they show it, it blows your fucking mind. You're like, 1, I didn't see this coming from a fucking mile away. And 2, of course that's what it is. And you're like, how could I be so fucking stupid not to see that? And then what happens at the end of season 6, I was listening to someone talking about it on another podcast site I listened to. She said, I was legitimately, she goes, and I don't say this to be fucking, colorful. I was legitimately staring at the fucking credits because they immediately start right after the scene ends with her fucking mouth hanging open. And I was like, yup. I was sitting there like, holy shit. After watching that, it's such a well done show that I recommend to anybody, dude. Start watching Better Call Saul. It comes back in a month. I said to my wife and girlfriend that we should just fucking gun it. You know what I mean? Like just go through everything up until
and then watch the show.
Exactly. We should just get guns and just gun the fucking show and buy physical copies and fucking kill it. And if I get arrested,
then rightfully so,
I could Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
But it's so good, man. It's so good. And, I don't want to wax poetic on it, but fuck, it is good. Very good. Like Sex in the Shower.
Nope.
.com.
Nope.
Jerk in the Shower.
A Jerk in the Shower. Jesus Christ. Don't even know your other show's name.
My more popular show.
The other one.
Pornhub.
3 people and Rob.
3 people and Rob.
Carry the 2.
Rob is to the power of Rob.
Anything else you've been watching this week?
I have watched... Oh, I've been watching... I think we discussed it last time. I just finished that Toast of London, that show with Matt Berry. It's an English show that was continued in Toast of Revelation or Revelation of Toast or something. I can't remember. But
I like toast sometimes, but with cheese whiz.
It's very... Matt Berry, I think, might be one of my... If not my favorite new British comedian. And he's not new. He's been around for a while, but my fuck, he is a funny man. It's it's good, dude. I can't... It's one of those shows that's impossible to describe, but my fuck, it is fun. It's called Toast of London.
Toast of London. I've never heard of it. So next week on the show, we are going to watch, and we are very excited because I'm sure we both love this,
We hold hands while watching it.
The Boys.
Oh, that's right. Season
3.
And you know what? I am glad.
Episode 1 to 3.
I am so glad that I have not watched any trailers. Nothing. I heard about it coming out, and I have avoided it completely because I've heard that if you watch the trailers, a lot of it is spoiled for you.
I think that's worth talking about because, now I'm trying to avoid trailers. Like I've said, for some things I'll watch the first trailer.
That's why you hate the Freedom Convoy, because you want to avoid all the tractor trailers.
Oh,
burn, freedom fighters! Do they call themselves that? Freedom fighters?
Probably not.
Fuck those losers. If you were part of the Freedom Convoy, go fuck yourself. Go drive into a ditch and fucking die.
I'm trying to avoid trailers as much as possible now.
They might hit you on the highway.
Okay, we're over that one.
Of heroes.
No, like Doctor Strange, I watched the first one. I won't watch anyone. The problem is when you go to a movie theater,
you can't put your fingers here and go la 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 la.
It's like I just had to accept it when we went to Top Gun because they were playing like 6 trailers before the movie.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
What trailer did you not want to see though before?
Jurassic World, because they showed more stuff in it than the original trailer. Yeah, they went back to I think they went to the TV spot one that just showed a shit ton of extra stuff.
I kind of
I
don't know.
Or the Top Gun trailer we saw the time before,
and
where
I know
it gave you a whole scene.
You're fucking super excited for Jurassic Park, but I'm like
super excited.
Yeah, I'll watch it. But I don't.
But
care
to me,
what
it's
happens.
like McDonald's. I was just waiting for you to try to figure that one out.
Like chicken nugget dinosaurs.
Nostalgia. It's colloquial.
I believe the term you're looking for is colloquial.
Thank you.
And it's pronounced nostalgia, not nostalgia. What are you, British? Schedule?
It depends where you're from. I'm from Canada, which is half French, and therefore I can... Schedule. I went to school. Where did I go to school?
I believe Matt Smith's...
Nope, not even close.
Porno box.
Yeah, that's where I went to school. Therefore, no. So I went to a French school. So,
can you speak French?
I say drama.
Then say some fucking French.
Pourquoi tu parles la français? Je ne sais pas qu'est-ce que tu veux dire, mais
Pamplemousse.
It's a French person out there going, he's not saying anything. he's just like talking random shit.
Where I used to work, we had the 4 teams of guys that worked that would answer the phone. And a lot of times, like people, because we were in Canada, so it was French and Canadian. And so French people would call. And if they were away from their desks, I, being an idiot, would grab the phone and go, bonjour. And they would start fucking French.
He'd be like, I'm sorry.
And I'd be like, bonjour, je m'appelle les pamplemousses.
Oh, no.
La bibliothèque dans la maison. La Renard, and they would be like,
still have your job?
And they'd be like, but like, pourquoi or whatever. And then fucking Ken would come over, like, smack me, and say, like, ignore that idiot.
He's like, sorry, you reached our French line. You want the Quebecois French line.
And they'd be like, croissant.
For Americans out there, there's 2 types of French people. Just
the assholes and the people that are okay.
The ones who drive poorly.
If you go to Quebec, you'll meet the assholes who are in Quebec and the Montreal people, which are great.
You mean Quebec City?
No, haven't you ever noticed that when you
Quebec is the province?
I know that.
And then there's Quebec City. So if you say Montreal, that's Quebec.
If you go anywhere in Quebec, they fucking hate you. And as soon as you get to Montreal, then they like you in Montreal.
Yeah, because if most people in Montreal are English.
That's my favorite part of going to Montreal, because all the times I've gone there, they'll be like, oh, so blah, 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 in French. I'm like, I don't speak any French. Oh, okay, I'll speak in English. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? Just cut over to the other language.
Well, it's. I used to be able to do that, but because I don't use it every day, I can't do that anymore. Like, I can understand it. So I can have dual conversations where it's like they're speaking French, I'm speaking English, and I've done that a lot.
Must be
in
nice.
Ottawa. But so yeah, we're gonna watch The Boys and see how that goes.
I'll be watching that on my other podcast, A Jerk in the Shower. I have a screen up in the shower.
We'll talk about Obi-Wan Threnobi, episode 3, and. Like, I don't know what else we're going to do. I put in Uncharted as a question mark.
I'm not going to watch Uncharted.
There's also possibility that
Love, Death, and fucking Robots.
we might get access to the Nicolas Cage movie. It's supposed to release very soon, digitally.
On
digital methods.
Media.
Yeah. For rents. Like renting.
To rent or to buy on Amazon Prime.
We could watch sex, drugs, and robots.
Sex, drugs, and robots.
Isn't that what it's called?
That sounds like the device that I bought. It's sex, drugs, and robots.
This week sucks. In a good way.
That's what my weekly review of sex toys would be. This week sucks.
You know, this week shows are perfect for people with dementia.
People just getting into Watch and Complain.
Oh my god.
We've had 6 views.
You know, if we have some regular viewers, they're gonna get.
We don't have any fucking regular viewers. I love watching when it comes up on my YouTube. I'll watch some video, 599 million views or 599K views, and then this guy, whoever, some fucking kid that's doing fucking needlework gets 500 views, and then it comes over to ours 6. Yay, 6 views.
At first 6, but then if you actually look at it, it's not horrible.
I'm not saying it's horrible. I just think it's funny how we have double-digit views. Some have triple digits.
Yeah. And the Mountain Dew thing on YouTube it has 72 views right here, but on TikTok it has 12 or 24. It's TikTok's burying it.
Oh.
Yeah. Probably because there shouldn't be any swearing, so I don't know. Maybe you say penis or something.
I said fuck in the Mountain Dew video. That's what my dad started yelling at me.
I censored you on TikTok.
Oh. I shouldn't say. We should try. How about, okay.
We should try a whole
next week's episode
where you do not swear.
That's right, where I do not swear.
You're not going to be able to do it.
If I do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself a treat. A jerk in the shower.
I just skipped.
You know what? I don't think I'd be able to masturbate in the shower because I'd start becoming self-conscious that I'm wasting water, and then all I'd be able to think about is that I'm wasting hot water.
Do you actually think about it? Do you pay for water?
We do pay for water.
I don't. I live in an apartment.
Fuck, must be nice. I'd start thinking about wasting water, and I'm destroying the environment, and I'm one of these assholes that's fucking destroying the planet, and then I wouldn't be able to complete. I always get stuck in my own headspace, man. That's what happens when you're a fucking genius like me.
Yeah. So your other podcast is ruined?
The other podcast is just me crying. And
you're not actually jerking in the shower? That's the whole point of the thing? You're just a jerk in the shower? People are expecting one thing. They just get random thoughts in the shower.
The people who are on my OnlyFans are this isn't what I signed up for.
And you singing that one line of the song. The whole time. You should start a podcast of that.
Let's trade that, or let's sell that to fucking Hippopotamus or whatever the hell they're called and see if they'll buy it.
You're going back to the Marvel show.
Hippopotamus, buy this for $1 million.
It's at this point in the podcast where they've realized that they don't want to do the show anymore.
I don't think we'll get double-digit views for this one.
No. What should be the most popular? 4 digits. 1,000 views.
You know what? Put Alzheimer's in the title, and they'll think that both of us have Alzheimer's, and that's why they should watch.
They'll just pick out little things and then be like, "That was a racist remark." Oh, that against guns. How many comments are we gonna get? Well, I should just pick out the gun control issues, put them on TikTok, and just see what that gets.
Holy fuck! Can you imagine? People, I know where those guys live. Stop watching it to count the fucking time down.
I just wanted a what do you call it? A poignant pause?
Pregnant pause?
Pregnant pause?
What about a poignant pregnancy?
Been there.
Ours was worse.
Was it?
Yup.
How so?
We were high risk.
We have time.
Because we unfortunately had something terrible happen before Dexter, which was terrible time in our lives.
I thought they just saw your mental issues.
And then they were like, don't let that, give that guy a vasectomy right away.
Yeah.
And then we were high risk when Dexter came along, which means, and I think I've brought this up before, So we were from 4 months, it might have been 3 months, Karen was in bed rest. In that total, so I had about 700 DVD movies in my movie library. I believe she got from A to M watching everything. That's how long she was in bed rest and would just go and put in the new DVD and sit and watch it, and go put in a new DVD and sit and watch it. We had to go to the doctors, the specialist every 2 weeks. In the last 2 months, 1 month or 2 months of pregnancy, we had to go every week. Every time we'd have to get an ultrasound. So poor Dexter probably came out, couldn't hear anything because all the ultrasounds. And then when we finally went,
I don't think that's how ultrasounds work.
Yeah, it's sound.
But I don't think it's sound you can hear.
Oh, it was a joke.
Comment.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be at this point. Oh my God, they brought up something I want to care about.
Sound.
And then when we went to the operating room, it was great because it was a teaching hospital, and I swear to fuck, I think there was 40 people in the room, and it was me and Karen and the anesthesiologist.
They just wanted to see how little you would come out.
And then on this, and what was great was I had my camera. I don't know why I brought my camera, but you're not really thinking of the day of, right?
Well, you see it in TV shows back in the day where they had the big camera.
Well, I brought my camera, and then the doctor, Dr. Kingdom was his name. He was like, come over here and take a picture. Because here's what they did. They popped Dexter out and stick him on the fucking table. Yeah. And then the problem that Karen had was this thing that hits occurs to 1 in 5,000 women. It's called vasoprevia. There's placenta previa, which is very common, but vasoprevia is very uncommon. So he took the placenta and was like holding it up and wanted me to come over and take a picture of it. I'm like, are you fucked? I'm not going on that fucking part.
It's a fish he caught.
I'm like, I'm not going on that side of it. So I had to give it to a nurse, and the nurse went over and was taking pictures and shit. And then, of course, Karen wanted to see them. And I was like, nope. And even to this day, I'm like, nope. Have never fucking looked at them.
They for ours, they laid it out on the table.
No.
And then I guess they have to examine it. I guess I don't.
For Karen's, yeah, they also, and I'm sure they fucking examined. But she was published in a medical journal and all sorts of shit. It was very interesting. But
like your picture, like
this, we passed out in the corner. My fucking feet, like Scooby Doo, or not Scooby Doo, Looney Tunes. My feet fucking hanging up in the air. But and then after that. We had
more
a great
because they learned from their experience.
Yeah, I don't know why we had. I love my second child, of course, love both my children, but with how terrible the experience of Dexter was,
I'm sure that's worse, but I'm just saying, like babies in general.
I'm all right with babies.
You didn't get anxiety? Did you do a lot of the work?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's funny.
I just wonder because there are a lot of guys that
no, I was
not.
Karen was very like tap 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 gentle on them, and I'd grown up with babies. I think there was babies in my family from when I was 11 because there was Justin there and there's my cousin, so there was constantly around babies. So I'm like, when you burp them, you need to fucking beat their backs, dude. Yeah. And they would constantly barf on me, shit on me, piss on me. It was like I was the toilet of the two boys. But no,
still are.
Exactly. But no, Dexter was such a horrible pregnancy. I remember, and Karen, hates remembering this, but she showed me the fucking pregnancy things. We're pregnant again. And I was like, great, here we go again. Is what I said. She was like, because she's all hormonal. She's pregnant. And I was a dick now. No, great, here we go again.
Why is it whenever you say a Karen story, is you always end it with, she's hormonal.
That's everything.
Women.
They're just hormonal. Now that's sexist.
That's how we end a podcast.
Hormones?
Calling women hormonal.
You said it, not me.
Especially when they're on their...
Look at that stops.
This has been Hour of Sour, episode 20.
Oh, that's right. You're going to cut out of it. That's why we're more than an hour.
Yeah, I think we started later than the recording. So
you should still cut everything out.
You should just put this all in.
Should be a period commercial. Why doesn't Tampax?
We have Easter eggs. We have after credit scenes.
All right. Follow us on watchandcomplain.com.
Which
like,
goes straight to our YouTube
subscribe,
channel now. So
smash
it's a lot
that like
easier.
button.
And then if you want the MP3, just go into the description of the videos, and all our links are there, including MP3, not MP3s, but the podcast where you can get MP3s.
Yep.
Sent to you. That's how podcasting works, right?
And write us, email us, comment us. We'll come to your house and sit down, and we can discuss whatever comment you had.
A jerk in the shower at
watchandcomplain.com. At your own house. Imagine we could do a jerk in the shower at your own house.
I keep telling you no.
I keep on hammering on the door. Hey, Phil's kid,
bathroom door.
Phil's kid, let me in. Let me in.
I tell him not to talk to strangers.
I'll give you candy. I got candy out here. I got Switch games. It's terrible. Fuck this shit. Follow us at watchandcomplain.com and canyoutasteit.com. The fuck is that?